Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Continia webinar. Today, we are talking about payment management. More specifically, it's the bank account reconciliation. We will go through all of the key points, but also add in some tips and tricks along the way. About this webinar, it will take just about half an hour. It is recorded, and the recording will be sent to you afterwards. If you should have some questions during this session, you are very welcome to write them in the chat. We are so fortunate to have Martin Brix from Payment Support with us today to give you the answers that you seek. My name is Anna Bjerre, and I am the dedicated solution specialist for payment management. And the agenda for this half-hour webinar is how does this bank account reconciliation work in payment management? Talk a little bit about statement intelligence, and we'll go through a startup of the bank account reconciliation, and then we are going to work in the bank account reconciliation using the different features in there. The bank account reconciliation flow, there are three elements in this PowerPoint. It's the bank account reconciliation, Continia Online, and the bank. Looking at the bank, you can see that there is a statement file produced and ready for import into Business Central. It passes through the CBIC in Continia Online, and in Business Central, you import, reconcile, and start over. So how to optimize using bank account reconciliation in payment management. First, we'll start with the communication, in lack of a better word, because it covers a little bit more than the communication. But the first thing is how do you want to get your file into the bank account reconciliation? You can use either manual import or direct communication for the import. It can be automatic, both in download, import, and also the reconciliation can be started. There is the option to import multiple statements into one bank account reconciliation. You have the option to set up aggregation periods, so you can use either a week or a month. Then we also have the bank export data, where you can work with the data that you get from the bank if something should happen. If we look at the bank account reconciliation, we have statement intelligence, which is a word that we created to cover the whole bank account reconciliation and the features that we implemented. So statement intelligence is an intelligent layer that we've placed upon on top of Business Central. We have automatic matching of bank statement lines with bank account ledger entries. We have rules to help the matching process. We have automatic creation of journal lines based on matching with, for example, customer ledger entries or employee ledger entries. We get reconciliation suggestions. So if we find a match, but it's not completely 100%, then we get a suggestion so that we can determine if it's supposed to be that line that we use for the journal line creation. Then we have summarize transaction, which is a way to summarize payments coming in, which can be summarized based on a string and character set in those strings. And then we have the possibility to split payments if we get additional information about which invoices a payment, for example, covers. let's get started with the live demo here. So first, I'm going to take you through some of the setup. As you already know, payment management setup is the way to always start. And if you go into manual setup, down here, you have the statement intelligence setup. So I mentioned in the presentation that we are able to create number of reconciliation suggestions. Will create that suggestion. You have some other options, but this is the one that I prefer. Some of them are less manual and some are more manual. But this one creates the suggestion for you if there is a discrepancy in the amounts, for example, and it will create the journal line if there is a match. We also have this create currency exchange, which is to be able to create an amount line for the currency exchange. And also, let's see, down here we have the default journals used in this, and there's this default difference amount GL, which I'll come back to later in the reconciliation. Also this one actually. Up here we have reversal rules. Those are purely for the customers in the Netherlands. It's for direct debit reversals. Then we also have some setup a little bit scattered. So I'm going to go through the different places that we have some statement intelligence set up. We have the banks here. If we go a little bit down, first of all, you can see that the statement import is direct, and we have the file format of XML for our account statements. If we look down here, we have a section or fast tab called Statement Intelligence. And here we can determine how we search for the different ledger entries. For example, down here, you can search for customer ledger entries, vendor ledger entries, employee ledger entries. You can search for a date and amount in the bank account ledger entries. So if it finds a match based on the date and amount, you can set up tolerance days before and after to be a little more lenient in if there is a discrepancy in the date. We also have some setup on the vendor, just a little bit. This is a little bit slow. So if we go down, you of course have the different settings for payment management, but down here we, for example, have reconciliation suggestion tolerance. So if you want that to be different from the standard setting that you set up, then this is where you do it. So you can do it either a percentage or an amount, and then the reconciliation suggestion will only be made if it's within this tolerance value. Then we go into the bank accounts where we also have some statement intelligence setup. We go down here, you can see the fast tab statement intelligence. We have the batches used or the different journal batches that you want to use for this specific bank account card or this specific bank account. And then we also have a setup here. You can see bank account statement import method. So this is set to download only, which means that it downloads the statement file from the bank. This is set for import for reconciliation, and this is import and start reconciliation automatically. I've set it to download only because I want to be able to import my statement files into each bank account reconciliation. To get this started, you would have to go to this action and enable account statement job queue. As you can see here, we also have a reconciliation suggestion tolerance set for this specific bank account card, where the tolerance type can be set either as percentage or amount, and then you set a tolerance value down here. And then the reconciliation suggestions will be based on if it's within this tolerance. Then we also have a specific journal badge used for customer, vendor, or employee. And we can set up a tolerance deviation for automatic customer suggestions. So if it's within this tolerance, that could be, for example, a rounding, then the journal line will be created automatically. Over here in the right corner, you see multiple bank statements per reconciliation. So this allows me to, for example, import, or to begin with, allow multiple bank statements to be imported into the same bank account reconciliation. Then I can set up an aggregation period for this. Could be a week or a month. So that would mean, for example, if I chose a month, then I could import statements every day, and then come the end of the month, it will not be able to import again. And if I then set up create new reconciliation and it goes into the new period, it will create a new bank account reconciliation for me for the new period. And then I can set also that I want to import all available statements if I need to import a lot of statements at the same time. Let's then go to the bank account reconciliation and get started. Okay, so I will create a new. I will select the bank account that I want to reconcile. And now you can see this is the first statement I've ever created in this for this bank account. And I can see down here a lot of bank account ledger entries. I haven't imported statement lines yet because I just want to show you, if you start this anew, you haven't done it ever before, you can, for example, set the statement date. If we look at my posting dates down here, you can see that I have one line that is from the 21st, and the rest is actually from after that. So I want to start on the 22nd. So I would set the last statement date to be the 21st. Then just press enter. And then I have one line here, and that could be a lot of old bank account ledger entries that have not been applied yet, and those I would have to close to make a clean cut to when I start using payment management bank account reconciliation. And this is how to do it. So now I have all the old entries, or the bank account ledger entries, in the right side here. And then I'll go and suggest lines, and it will ask me for how long the statement period I want to suggest lines for, and I can just pick whatever how far back I want to go. And the ending date is, as you can see, the 21st, which is the cutting date for me. And then press OK. And it'll create the statement line that I need to be able to apply and close this bank account ledger entry. From here, I'll press post, and then I'll get an error, because what I need to be aware of is that this was not a statement file that I imported, so I don't get a statement ending balance. And you can see down here the total balance is 1100, because that's the one, that's the sum of it. So I'll put in the statement ending balance because there's a check on this. So I'll just go post again. And now I have cleaned up and I'm ready to start my bank account reconciliation. And I will just go to this bank, and you can see it's the second statement that I've made. And you can see the balance last statement is 1100. And all the bank account ledger entries from after that is ready for me. Now I'll have to switch to another environment because I've created a lot of different statement lines. And to be able to show you everything, I will have to go in to this. Good. So now you see it's the same scenario. The last statement is 1100 and the statement ending balance is also visible from the statement file. From here, I just want to show you that everything I imported is also in the bank export data. Now, I promised you I would show you a little bit about that, and this is where you get all the data that is imported in your account statements, and you can see that it's been imported to company. So I've already taken this into a bank account reconciliation. Now, if there was something that went wrong or in my bank account reconciliation, I deleted a line or something like that, I would be able to import it again because it's readily available in my bank export data. I would have to then probably remove imported to company to be able to import it again. And if I look in my bank statement lines, I can actually go ahead and, for example, delete a line, but I would also be able to go up here and delete and set as imported. So that means that the lines would be deleted but set as imported and not, I wouldn't be able to import them again. They would be seen as already handled. Now, this is not to say that the lines would necessarily be reconciled in that sense, but it's just a working tool to be able to work with the lines that I get in my bank statements. So if you don't want to import it again, you set it as delete and set as imported. If you want to be able to import again, you set it, you delete them, and then they'll be ready from the bank export data. Good. So if we look at this screen, we have some different information to work with. As I already mentioned, there's a balance statement ending balance, but there's also, for example, over here, number of related lines in the different journals. So I have some lines in the cash receipt journal. I have some in the general journal. If I hadn't posted the payment journal, there would also be some journal lines over here. But from here, I would go in and work with the bank statement lines. As you can see, the status can be okay. They can be unsolved. They can be awaiting in the cash receipt journal, and they can be waiting in the general journal. And those are the ones that I also have a bank ledger entry difference down here. So that one I have to take an extra good look at. But for now, I want to work with my unsolved lines. And to better do that, I would go and look at my top menu here. There's a one called show. So what I would go and do is show non-matched. I have some lines over here that I want to work with from the beginning. And the first one here, I would always take a look in the right side of the screen to see if I have a bank account ledger entry to match it. And as you can see here, I have one that actually looks to be the same payment. And what I can see also is that the transaction date and the posting date are different. If I had set up that I wanted to look in different, expand my search to include days before and after, that one would be matched already, but I haven't. So I'll just go to manual handling here. No, I won't. I will select this line, and this one is also selected. And I will go to match and match manually. So now that line is gone. And the one bank statement line has disappeared over here. If I go to the next line, I have a number of reconciliation suggestions. I have one, so I will go ahead and look at that. You can see that I have an original payment discount. It's bound by the document number, so I'm pretty sure that it's the right one. But there's a difference in the amount and an original payment discount possible. I'll just press close to this one. Oh, I have to turn this on. That's something to be aware of. If it's not writable, then I won't be able to press OK here. And now I've created a cash receipt journal line. Then the next one here, I have an unsolved line that is an aconto payment. And that means that someone has transferred an amount from the account, but it seems that there's nothing in the in Business Central to they haven't created anything to catch this. So I will have to create that manually. So what I would do is I would select manual handling. And then from there, I would go and create a journal line. But before I do that, I actually want to save this one to create a rule for you so you can see how that also works. Because I have different rules up here: general, bank account, reconciliation rules, customer, vendor, employee, and merge rules. I go through them in a second. But first off, I want to create a rule for this one. So what I'll do is I'll go up here. I'll put in a search text. I'm looking for exactly that one, and I'm searching in description. And then I'll set up some kind of balance account for this in a positive and a negative. But what you also can do from here is that you can go in and create a dimension or attach a dimension to this. I'll just go ahead and say that it's the administration that did this. And then I'll close this, go back, and then I'll press matching again. And now it disappeared because it used the rule to create a line for me. The next one here, I'll look at the number of reconciliation suggestions, document number. There's a discrepancy in the amount. So if I had set up that I wanted to do a rounding, that one would be solved automatically. But now I'm just going to press OK, and it creates the journal line for me. The next one down here is a incoming payment from a customer. And we can see here that this is most likely a FIC code, so an OCR string. So this would go for everyone that has an OCR string to some of their payments. And to be able to solve this, like I could go in and search manually for this, but I could also set up how to read this string, this FIC key. And what I would do is I would go to the payment management setup again, and I would look at this default payment reference mask. Now, looking at this, I know that on my invoices, I actually have a payment reference that looks like this. So it has a lot of zeros, 8 zeros, and then it has a document type, a document number, and then a modulus check digits. So if I go back into this, I will press match automatically again, and then it found a match for that one. so you can't see it now. I might go out and just show you everything just in a second. If we look at the next one, we have a payment, and you can see the statement amount. You can see that there's an applied amount and there's a difference to this one. So I know that this is actually a, if I look up here, I can get more columns. So better be able to see. I can see that this is actually a euro payment. Now this is just created as a bank ledger entry difference, but I want it to be a currency difference. So I'll go to the payment management setup again, and I'll go into the statement intelligence setup, and I'll set up here that I want to create currency exchange rate amount differences. So that's set up. I'll be able to go back and match automatically. And now you can see it's created a currency difference. The next one down here is an external payment reference. For this one, I wanted to show you that you can, for example, look at some of the other more fields that I showed you up here that you can show more columns. I can look in this and see that I have a sender reference, for example, that I could use to recognize this type of incoming payments. So for this one, I've just put in some random thing, but it could be from, for example, a web shop. So what I would do to be able to recognize this external payment reference is that I would go into, again, payment management setup, the same. I'm actually, nope, not in here, sorry. It's in banks. Up here, you have a statement intelligence setting, payment reference search rules. And for this one, I would simply go and search in the sender reference. And this is just a description. XK. And if I go out again and back into the bank account reconciliation here, and I press match automatically, that one was matched again to the sales invoice with the external payment reference. For this one down here, you can see I have some different information in the additional information and the description. I haven't found the right customer ledger entry for this, but I can set up a search rule up here in the customer reconciliation. I will pick the one that I want to find, the KC, and search in description. The next one is, I would of course have to know this, but I do know this, so this is the one that I'm searching for, and I'll just look in additional information for that one. And then I would go out again, and I would press match automatically. Oh, this one. Oh, did I make? I'll just go to the rules again. Oh, I obviously did something peculiar with that one, but let's just go ahead and look at the related so I can see all of the lines here. So now you can see we're going a little bit over time because there are a lot of lines to cover. But I'll just go ahead and talk about the rules so you get a description of those. There are the general reconciliation rules, Gebühr and Rente, which I search for and then post on the different balance account. You can see one of those down here. That was created automatically based on the rule. The bank account reconciliation rule that I already set up. Customer reconciliation rules, which I also showed you. The one here was created before. I don't know what is wrong with that one, but maybe I didn't create the order, the sales invoice correctly. And then we have a vendor employee. They are the same principle as customer reconciliation rules, and the merge rules, which will read a string, and based on that string, we'll be able to merge the incoming payments based on a date in the string, and then match the receipt from, for example, credit card terminal in the bank account ledger entries. What we'll have to do from here is go into the cash receipt journal. And then you can see here that I have a difference. And those were agreed upon, so that's fine. But I promised to show you the one of the setups that we have for differences. So for example, for this one here, I could choose to insert different journal lines to be able to handle them a little bit differently. I didn't set up a GL account in the beginning, so I'll just go ahead and do that. And I will just pick one. Let's just take this one. And then it will create the lines, the line for me needed to be able to handle that. All the others, I will just go ahead and post this. I know one more thing is actually this one was an incoming payment. And then based on the information in my additional information, it split the payment into two. So you can see these are two applied entries, and this one is the original payment from headquarters. Go ahead and post. And now, based on the journal lines in here, you can see that I have the additional bank account ledger entries, and now all the lines are green over here. And in the general journal, if we look, we can see the two rules based on the general reconciliation rules, the one rule based on the bank account reconciliation rule, and for that one, we can go in and look at the line and look at the dimensions. And also the currency exchange line down here that we created as we turned on the feature. Okay, from here, I want to post. And now you can see that all the lines are matched. But from here, I would post, and then that would be the bank account reconciliation.